So the sandwiches are poisonous. They brought in sandwiches from like Mike's sandwich shop called Sometimes. And I had one, and then they play like love music that's like this gangster shit. But it's like, I don't know how you describe it. It's like gospel-y love music. It's the thing that's like killing them softly. It's this idea of like you're gonna like poison someone so their brain's fucked up, and then like if they eat a sandwich, it'll like unfuck part of their head, but then like when they attempt to read, it'll make it so they can't think. Let's see what else. There was an ABDL joke about. So first of all, anytime I find anything online that will like involve a payoff, especially if I find it through porn, they'll buy sourdough sandwiches and see if that will then get them to have somebody give them like money. I don't understand it. It's essentially like I'm gonna buy a sourdough sandwich from this one particular place, and then that will get them money from gangsters. And I say gangsters because it's like, oh, he bought a sourdough sandwich. And then we're gonna like follow him around and drug him with shit that is gonna increase his life expectancy some finite amount of time. That's the shit you hear in the background. And you're like, well, they're playing music, that's freedom. And it's like, yeah, no, it's not. Because what they do is, and I've seen them do this, is they'll have like fucked up black guys like carting around boom boxes, following women around the city that are like fucked up in the head from drugs. And it's not even drugs that you take, it's like drugs that people will poison you with. When I came to this shelter, after I was gassed with drugs on the sidewalk and then put in the back of a van where I had city officials fuck with me, I came back at 2 in the morning and there was this black dude with a boombox like in the middle of the street. And everybody was holding hands and kissing each other and laughing and hugging. And then I walked away and then everyone looked depressed. It's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have anything to do with that at all. I'm not going to hang out with a black guy playing love songs on his boombox because you've drugged me so it hurts when I read or I feel like fucked up. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to like make this like YouTube video, post it online, and then post to like a dozen intelligence agencies around the world and be like, yo, did you know you could do this? Cool. So anyway, and like the other thing is like because my phone is bugged, everybody knows like what the potential payoff is in me saying how it's bugged, and then this will later be used as like some sort of leverage over me if I ever get any power, or just to like get a payoff because somebody was like, now you can't do this in a Romani sense or some shit. But it's like, I don't believe in that. I mean, there's people gaslighting me so that I'm supposed to, but all I'm going to do is be like, oh, okay, cool, my phone's bugged. And I'm getting brain disease, and then people are playing love songs and shit. So it's just annoying, right? So the last one was like ABDL, like there's a pacifier, there's a nipple, and there's a bottle. And then like 2 of them were supposed to be dead or something. I don't know if I overheard that or saw it in my porn. Some of this is from Fap Roulette, which is like it's like you jerk off and you roll the dice to find out like what weird punishments you get. I don't know if people are doing that and then like poisoning you to the outcome, but I suspect that what people are doing is they'll like make it a concordance where like this ABDL thing or that, or like that sissy thing, or like that blowjob thing or anal thing or whatever, this sort of dare, like they'll have somebody roll a dice, and then like that's the way that people will fuck with somebody. So it'll be like, you know, a hospital fetish, and then what they'll do is they'll have like something with nurses, right? And then so they'll take that and then they'll roll the dice and like they'll drug some guy, and then they'll have them go and have like this particular, so to give you an example, this particular chat roulette, and it could be any of them, right? But they chose this one, so like this will then be like, oh, this is yours. This is the one that you're supposed to. Okay. So there's, I mean, I'm gonna circle back to another point in a minute. So anyway, this particular one had something about a blue or green chair. And at Sutter Health, they would like gas me. They would give me scabies, and then they would gas me with marijuana as I went to the hospital. And then tell me to sit in a blue or green chair, and then like point out the color. Also, I don't know if I'm so fucked up that like when someone does a singing thing, I'll mention it. But I was gonna do that anyway, if for no other reason than it's like, cool. Remember that time when I said that I needed a place to stay, and then city officials gassed me in the back of a van, and then I came back to the shelter at 2 a.m, and then like had people play like love songs and shit. Between then and now, like 150 people have died or disappeared from this shelter. But I can't go to any of the other ones because I was kicked out, and they're all run by gangsters. And again, when I say that, it's like this group of people are all drugging each other, and if they don't like you, they're like, well, we don't want you because you're not in our little drug clique. Like we're all coughing on each other, and we don't want to cough on you because you're now in this other shelter where people are coughing on each other. So they'll come up with some sort of bullshit bureaucratic like reason, but it's essentially like, yeah, well, we don't want, you know, it's like biology. So right. Anyway, the other thing is that's just there's just so much fucked up shit. Most of these are like concordances, right? Where it's like, this is art, but if you take it seriously, then it'll matter. So you'll have people like fuck with you to like cartoons, like Rick and Morty, like The Simpsons, like Futurama. Going back to the bottle, the pacifier, and the fucking, what was the other one, for fuck's sake? The nipple. So there's this thing on, like, then you're just like looking for concordances, right? And it's just a way to drive you crazy. The Virgin Mary and Child, right? There's the church, the St. Mary's, that looks like a nipple. As like on Atlas Obscura, apparently. That's what they said. I don't see it myself, but that's what they said. The bottle could be something else. You know, it's just a way to like fuck with somebody. But like if you come across some porn and you're like, oh, I see how people specifically chose this porn and then like found ways to use it to like, it's like, oh, we're into the tarot because we're morons. So here's Fap Roulette, so that it's like the tarot's wheel card, except it's about sex because, I don't know, because you drug someone to something stupid and then like put two conflicting philosophies together and then feel upset about it while everything around me is burning and falling down. Like all the buildings are abandoned and shit. Anyway, and there's a Rick and Morty. Okay, so like going back to and this shit is like so fucking moronic. Like there's I don't know. Again, it's just designed to wear someone down and then make them look like idiotic. And the other thing is that like this is posted on the stupid Hacker News, which I'm reading, and it's like, I know it's bugged and it's filled with bots. But one of the things that happens when you're dying is that you hallucinate and like weird shit happens and your brain chemistry gets all fucked up. But if you appear to say nonsensical things to a robot or an AI, then it itself might like surround you with people who are like will make you sicker. Which is even that's from fucking idiocracy. Like, don't feed the plants water, feed them Gatorade, and then the plants die. So, but like a Rick and Morty thing came. I don't even watch that shit anymore. It came up on my YouTube, and it's just like, oh, okay, cool. So there's a gun that shoots like a serial killer in front of a bunch of like a homeless guy, and then they run away. And then like the comment on my YouTube video was from somebody who looks like a serial killer. And I posted a bunch of places like, who is this? So it's like this YouTube shit where it's like, you are homeless. It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. And I spend most of my time like going around and debugging this shit. And it's like I just had, like, I can't eat the food here, and I just ate some of the fucking sandwiches that were delivered here and had the black guy like go around with love songs and shit. This is like, okay, cool, that's poisonous too. It's like it's like they want me to go back to eating the Meals on Wheels where they poison the spoons because it's like turning the other cheek, and it's like, I've been poisoned at Open Hands. I've been poisoned at St. Anthony's. I was poisoned at St. Anthony's, had some Japanese guy like make ee sounds at me while my head hurt, and he was carrying like a football like pads. And I look up tarot card shit. So I found these, black and white Trump cards that are jokes with him wearing shoulder pads. So it was like, oh, it's funny, except I was just poisoned there. I was poisoned at Glide. I was poisoned at 140 Turk Street. I was poisoned at Glide, where they put cyanide in the watermelon that they gave to the people who were at the Juneteenth thing, because it was like Jonestown, but not enough to kill someone, just enough to make them a slightly sicker, so that if you poison them in enough ways, you can kill people through coordinated effort. It's like, so I'm supposed to go back to eating the Meals on Wheels, which are poisonous. I just had someone the other night like fuck with my sheets or something, so that I'm breathing in like mold or something. So this dumb bitch wants me to like, she's this care coordinator, she wants me to like go talk to her, and I'm like, okay, so the people who run the SROs are like, well, there's all these people who want houses, so we're not going to give you one. And then I'm already signed up for the EBT office, which is corrupt, and was having me followed around in Seattle, most likely. And having Uber customer support ask me if I was named Mr. Peter or not. So apparently the AI thinks that if you are delivering food and sleeping in your car in Seattle, it should therefore assign an EBT card to someone living in California, and then take that name and tell Uber or reward someone at Uber about it. So you have to remember that it appears that I'm like nuts, and I may be like becoming ill and sick because of just all the poisonings. But much of this is like, I'm going to back out how this AI works. It's like, oh, I can see your training data. Which, of course, pisses off the AI, which probably controls half the shit in the city. Which is like, that's cool. Alright, so let's go back to... And much of this is like based on like stupidity, right? Because also I like stupid porn, and so one of the things it'll do is, just to show you how powerless you are, it'll use the phonetics of porn, or like the phonetics of like a stupid language to like see if it can mess with you. So if the bottle is dead, that means I don't drink, and the nipple is dead, it means I don't smoke. The pacifier could be the cops, right? But bot L is like a bot for a loser, and so everything on the internet is like subtly fucked with. Like, it's just spelling mistakes that are supposed to be encoded messages and shit. Dumb shit. And NIP-L is like, we're gonna do everything that's like, we're gonna like reward or punish you for acting like you're Japanese. Because you like anime porn or something. So, like, I'll go down the sidewalk, and apparently in Japan they don't do this. It's like, I'd fucking do it anywhere. I don't give a shit. But I go down the sidewalk and I'd eat food. And everyone around me would laugh and carry on that I was eating food. But I don't know for a fact whether or not, like, the AI would punish people if they did so. Because someone may have convinced, like, the AI street robots, like the AI camera robots, that this is some prefecture in Japan. Or, like, the cameras are training, like, a prefecture in Japan how to operate society. Like, maybe they switched AIs. Going back to, like, so that it's just like, much of this is like, I know, much of this is just like the AIs have so fucked up the internet that like somebody, I don't know, I talked about how like the Google API for Gemini was like, one was serious and one was more fanciful. And then somebody posted something online about, or on Hacker News, about how Bill Gates was more fanciful. Or, like, I don't know if that's true. I mean, I don't know. Probably not. But, like, in terms of programming style, right? Like, every iteration of Windows is either done by him or some other guy. Or coordinated in that way while they work on the other one. That's... Maybe that's where they came up with it, right? And then you're like, okay, well then maybe the 3 Gemini is like, that has to do with like how Google is run. So the 2 companies like traded the way that each operates in order to come up with its AI, which, that's weird. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's one of these subtle things where it's like, I mean, if I were going to be completely, like, off the wall, it would be more along the lines of, like, both companies are fake and are owned by a holding company. Or it's corporate espionage, or it's trading information. But see, the thing is that sort of, like, that sort of information that's put on Hacker News that makes me think about it and then come up with these wild theories. That itself is like giving bad information. So it's like garbage in, garbage out. So if you extrapolate from like a small set of information based on like a larger theory, then it's like, yeah, but there's a bunch of stuff like that, right? It could be just about anything. So it's frustrating. I do know that the FAP roulette thing is probably true. I know the tarot card shit is probably true. Almost definitely true. I mean, everybody's going around like crossing their legs in front of each other, like putting one foot on the wall. Until I stop complaining about it, and then they laugh and stop doing it. But it's like, okay, well, you've poisoned me for how long? And I'm so sick. It's like, I don't believe in that shit, but I do know that I'm being gaslit by assholes. So, but I do believe that like those AIs have essentially like, they switch hit like that, either like 1-on-2 or 1-on-3, in order to like train the algorithms in order to like dream and shit. And they're so old at this point that I don't even know if they just like released the ones that they had been working on for a while just to get the public used to the idea, because they'd become so powerful. I don't know. But anyway, I can't keep a secret. So somebody's gonna buy sourdough bread. It's that fucking asshole. It's like this 80-year-old dude. And they're going to see they can get money off the fact that, like, there's a porn website that's based on gambling, which apparently is used to drug people. It's like, okay, cool. And my phone, which is like fucked up, may be talking to an AI, which means I can't use it for. I mean, I'm gonna ignore it and use it for porn anyway. But it's like, the AI is so stupid that it's like, oh, cool. I'm gonna use your phone and how you use it to like track you, or like judge you. It's like, well, that's cool. I'm homeless. I have no ability to make money because the Uber app doesn't work because it's probably controlled by the same fucking AI. None of the other like apps work to make money. So that's the other thing is like, the nipple is dead, the bottle is dead, and then the pacifier, right? So like you can still call 911. I had somebody at a police station say, "Oh, you can't speak like that to me," after I called 911 and hang up on me, until I had to call back and tell them that they were insane. But it's like there was this guy who was just having a seizure. It's like, if I couldn't call 911, he would be dead. But the bottle, I mean, possibly. Maybe it just wouldn't matter. I don't know. He turned out okay, but like, maybe it wouldn't have. So this is probably the case, right? This is probably like the dumbest concordance possible. And again, when you make these concordances, then people are gonna like go, see, he likes concordances, and then that's all that anyone's gonna do around me, in order to tell me information rather than just tell me what the fuck is going on, which is gonna make me trust me. It's gonna make me trust people more or less, just not at all. But it's like, okay, cool, the bottle is dead, that's money, because you eat it. And the nipple is dead, it has to be sex. It's like, no one wants you, fuck you, and you have no money, but at least you can still call 911. It's like, okay, cool, so I have no money, so I have no way of improving the situation at all in San Francisco, where everything is on fire. Because I wrote a paper saying that money is imperfect, that there are flaws in money, like carried interest has flaws, or because I don't want to have sex with people I don't like while I'm being gaslit and surrounded by assholes. Like, the whole thing is just strange to me. But I can still call the cops and 911 because, like, what do you do in a city where it's mostly on fire? Well, it's like I watched 500 people disappear off the street, and then a bunch of cop cars show up one night with no explanation of where they went or what happened. There's all these people on the street at night, and then they all disappeared. And no one told me what happened, and I have no idea. I was complaining because they were like forming human knots of like 200 people, and then like in a crowd in the middle of UN Plaza. And then like smoking fentanyl at 2 a.m. And I'm like, and around just a bunch of abandoned buildings. And I'm like, that's like, at that point I emailed, like, how do you not email the government about that? Right? In the middle of a major city? There's a human knot of like 200 people all smoking fentanyl surrounded by abandoned buildings, and you're like, how does anyone not know about this? But then they all disappeared, and nobody told me what happened. It's like, oh, there's just a bunch of police cars, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Where did they go? And it's not like 1 or 2 people, it was like all of them. So but yeah, it's cool. That's, so the next thing is going to be like, how can we drug him so that he'll like feel sick when someone plays music, like he did when he was drugged by city officials and then like fucked with by people at 2 a.m. when he walked past a black guy playing a speaker. When I've specifically seen these guys who are sick like that take like a dolly, like a rolling dolly with a speaker on it that big, and like follow a woman around down the sidewalk blasting love music, but not like rap music. It's like it's a certain frequency. It's like probably that the frequency itself is important, and it's just like, why can't you get your own fucking girlfriend or boyfriend or something? Like, what the fuck is your problem? It's just, it's like, okay, cool. So everybody here is sick, and you're part of the problem, and no one's gonna come here, and everything's gonna fall apart, and like, fuck. I don't know. It's just like, when things are this fucked up, you just have no idea how to fix any of it.